Hello guys!
Hi!
Welcome to our channel. In today's episode we are going to be talking about the red planet, Mars.
Wait. Please kindly subscribe and ring the notification bell.
Thumbs up, please. I'm watching you. Have you subscribed yet? Don't forget to ring the notification bells. So today we're going to be talking about Mars, the red planet, nicknamed the red planet. So first let's know what Mars means. All the planets except Earth is named after Roman gods, right? And Greek, right? Right. If you were watching with us till Venus. And we have now learned that all the planets are named after Roman gods, right? So, what Roman god is this one named after? You might think the Roman god of blood. You're close, but it's the Roman god of war. And I don't really think that is a very good name.
It's an unfortunate name. If we had the opportunity to change it, we would call it Baseland or Redland, to be more precise.
Because that name is not good for it. And it also has two moons. While Earth has one moon, Venus and Mercury do not have any moons. And the gas giants and the ice giants have millions and millions of moons. These ones only have two.
And named after Phobos and Deimos.
There's another unfortunate names, the moons.
Phobos was named after fear and Deimos after dread.
How they got their names is actually because Mars, as the big daddy, is his sons, which his name is Mars, are these names. And since he's the god of war, they are bad. That is why the meaning of their names is those two words.
And they usually go with their father to war.
So let's go back to Mars and leave Roman mythology. So Mars is a red planet.
And it's rocky, terrestrial.
So if you want to know what terrestrial means, it's rocky. And once we go out of here, we are in the gas giants.
Yes, it's the last passageway, and we're making it to the gas giants.
So these don't really are shaped like moons, right? They don't really look like moons. They don't look oval-shaped like our moon.
Or circle-shaped like many other moons.
Then what the hell happened to them? Actually, they weren't supposed to be moons.
They were first in the asteroid belt until Mars pulled them by himself and made them their moons.
And that's the reason why they don't look like moons.
And they are Mars's moons.
So what is this? It's Olympus Mons, the tallest mountain, the tallest volcano in our whole solar system. It dwarfs Mount Everest. 3 Mount Everest is the equal size of it.
It dwarfs Mount Mons on Venus. If you watched our video about Venus, you know what Mount Mons is.
But this volcano is extinct. But scientists still think that it can still erupt lava.
Then what is this part that is not colored red? That is the polar ice sheet. Only Earth and Mars has polar ice sheets.
Or they can be called polar ice caps. Just think about it as like Earth's and Mars caps. Just think about it like white caps that they are wearing.
So Mars and the Earth have them both on the north and on the south.
but the one that is mostly visible and always permanent is the one on the top. The bottom one down is always melting every time when it's summer. Fun fact, Mars experience weather, climate, and also seasons like Earth. Isn't that amazing? That means, but there's something I want to tell you. It's not the exact same. Actually, Mars's seasons are twice as long. So that means that they both have seasons, but Mars's own is 2 times longer. Yes. And these polar ice sheets are not made out of water. Actually, they are made out of frozen carbon dioxide and some water.
That is dry ice.
Dry ice is really cold. So that is how it keeps it there.
And it's the only type of ice that makes gas at still it's in its solid form. Like solid, liquid and gas. Water goes in all these stages. But dry ice has a small amount of water. So it could still make gas due to the carbon dioxide.
And if you didn't know, you know that our Earth is made out of many percentages of different gases. And nitrogen is the one that has lots of it, right? But for Mars, it's all over different. Actually, carbon dioxide is the one that is taking over, like nitrogen.
Carbon dioxide is a big percentage in the air. Oxygen, nitrogen, and argon and other gases make a very small 1% inside it.
And that doesn't make sense. And then the remaining, what's the remaining percentage?
The remaining percentage that is left is some dust. There's dust in the air that is from Mars because of these dust devils or dust storms that are mostly happening every time on Mars.
We still have miniature ones on Earth. It happens in dusty places like the Sahara Desert. They are called sandstorms for us, but there it's called dust devils. You know why? Because they can grow like a tornado. They act more like a tornado than a gust of wind that is collecting sand.
And they could grow 300 miles high.
That is more than we can handle. So it's good that we have the miniature ones.
And they could cover the whole planet
with red dust. And here's fun fact. People keep asking and Googling, why is Mars red? And I understand why. So here's the answer.
It's because of iron. You know how iron looks like? A silver color, right? Is that the color of Mars? No. But have you ever saw rusted iron? It's as simple as that. It's reddish. It's a reddish orangey color of Mars.
Just because of the oxygen that is there. You know, when oxygen and iron meet for a long time, the iron becomes rusty, right? That's what happened to Mars. It just got rusty.
Yes. Exactly what happened to Mars.
And now, here's something I want to tell you. You thought that since Mars is colored red, that means it's hot. The ice says it. It's cold.
It's the coldest terrestrial planet. but it still has sun radiation. Since it has a thin atmosphere, most of the sun's heat comes, and that's why the South Pole keeps turning into water every summer.
Yeah, that's the reason why. And you might be thinking that there's aliens on Mars.
No. There's no aliens on Mars. But there are living things on Mars. But they are only bacteria and parasites.
So if you're talking about aliens, that's what you're talking about actually. So no aliens that are scientifically minds and gonna destroy the Earth. You're talking about bacteria. And that is impossible for bacteria to destroy the world. So, now, we have thought that there's alien life on Mars just because there's scrapes on Mars. These scrapes make it look like that aliens are farming. These scrapes on Mars look like aliens are farming, but they're not. And aliens do not exist.
Remember, look at this picture. You see a line that is orange coming through this area and Olympus Mons here. This is the part that takes the north from the south of Mars. It is a long line.
It's just a valley, or it's just like a canyon. Yes, a canyon, like the Grand Canyon.
But it's much bigger. It's the size of Europe.
Actually, if you want to know it, it's the size of Europe. And that shows that it's really big. But if you didn't know, the same way that Venus had water once is the same way that Mars did. Have you noticed that the planets that are near Earth are the most likely to have water before?
Before, Mars and Venus were Earth, and Earth was Venus and Mars combined.
So now they just switched. So now we know that Venus had water on it. But now, how did Mars lose its water? Actually, it's unknown why it lost its water. But Venus's reason is really clear.
The sun gave it too much sunshine, and it made it the hottest planet in our solar system, and the water eventually turned into water vapor.
And that's another stage of water. So watch our water video to get more about that. So now back to Mars. And Mars, why? So the question is about Mars. People always ask, why do scientists think that we should land probes on Mars? The reason why is because it's the only planet that doesn't really have harsh conditions and is more like Earth. Some planets you can't stand on. Some planets are just too windy.
And some planets are too hot and some planets are too close to the sun. But Mars is the nearest planet to the habitable zone or the Goldilocks zone, near to Earth.
Doesn't mean there's life on Mars. But that means that we can make life on Mars.
First, scientists from NASA and other places of the world want to pollute Mars or put global warming on Mars so us humans could thrive. But it might kill anything else that was still living there. So, bad idea.
And also, you know why we have so much information about Mars? The reason why is because we sent actually just robots to Mars. We sent robots to Mars, not I'm a robot. No, not those type of robots. Rovers. They're like just cars, miniature cars, but with lots of records to send aliens if they find some.
And also they are all put on Mars. They are called Mars rovers. There are 5 major of them, and one is still being thought if it should be sent. So the first one is Sojourner. Sojourner is the first of all of these that went to Mars surface and had a good landing.
Yeah, because there was many more before Sojourner, and their landing was wrong. So they either hit on Matmons, broke, fall into the valley, broke. So just know that it's a really rocky landing. So Sojourner was lucky that he went to Mars.
Sojourner then was covered by these dust devils, and it left like that until it disappeared. Now the next one came. Its name is Spirit. It also was misfunctioned by a dust devil. These dust devils like Mars rovers. And then they sent Opportunity to help Spirit. It almost looks like Spirit, but it has more cameras than Spirit does.
It has 6 cameras. 6 cameras to take pictures in every direction it can. One camera up to face the moons, one camera here, one camera here, one camera here, one camera here. Cameras everywhere, so that it can take us the most pictures, so that we can know as much as we need to know.
So I have found these Mars cookies and sweets inside the supermarket. They have really took up my curiosity. And talking about curiosity, the next rover that we're going to talk about is Curiosity.
And if you want to know, all of their names are just named after what the scientists want. They think that going to Mars and learning about Mars is an opportunity. They think that their robots have spirits
and that their robots have curiosity
to learn more.
And Sojourner was just named after nothing. Unfortunate name.
And that is the reason why they have those names.
So let me tell you that Sojourner is the size of a microwave.
That is a really small size. And that's why people didn't really think he will work, but he did.
He worked for 60 days until the dust devils, who really love these Mars rovers and their fans of Mars rovers, misfunctioned, killed the Mars rover.
So these ones that we just mentioned, Opportunity and Curiosity and Spirit, are the only ones that are working properly. Understand?
Spirit is now on stock because of Opportunity.
So if you didn't know, Spirit was busy for 45 minutes because it was driving, and then it drive on marshy lands. You know when you step in mud and you start sinking a little? That is what was happening to Spirit.
Just that it was silicone instead of mud. Silicone is silver, and it's mostly found inside the sun's core and the earth's core.
But we do not know how it ended up there. It could be asteroids that are full with silicon that gave it silicon. Or maybe it's the same reason about Earth. Silicon from the joining of cores. And also, back to the rovers. So since Sojourner and Spirit is stuck and then got unstuck, now the question is, how did opportunity and also curiosity work? So all these ones that we just mentioned, except curiosity, were using the sunlight to work.
A solar panel.
And anytime the dust went on them, either by digging to see materials or either carried by
The dust devils.
it will block their supply of the sunlight.
They really like these rovers. I think they're fans of them.
And that is how they work. But if opportunity still used the same thing, how did it work? See what scientists did. Because of what was happening, they understand that the dust devils were fans. And so that the fans won't feel like they were ungreeted. So they made sure, instead of when the wind comes, opportunity will know it's cleaning time. Because also when it brings dust, some of those devils remove dust to put on another rover. So it just cleans itself when it goes into one of those. So that is how it had been working. It was mostly meant for just 10 months, but it went for a decade. Its supply was meant for 10 months, but it went for a decade instead. And wow, that decade was full of discoveries. That is how we knew that there's water.
So now the fifth rover that I told you that people are thinking to send is called Mars Rover 2020.
And they'll send it in 2020. And that's why it's called Mars Rover 2020. But don't think so that they have already launched it. No, they're still just continue making on it. They're still working on it so that they will make a blast off into space.
And it looks more like Spirit and Opportunity.
And now, you guys might be asking us a question. Why did we draw this spaceship? It's because many people are thinking about going to Mars. You might even think it yourself just now. Think about going to Mars.
The first problem is no water. Second problem, no oxygen. Third problem, there's not much plants on Mars. And fourth, is there any life on Mars? If there's life on Mars, you could use that life for food. But there's no life on Mars that is good for food.
So we might make Mars bases, or we either live underground. So that is two ways. We either live underground and collect some air in air pockets, or we either take water from the ice caps. There is many ways that we can survive on Mars, and NASA is still planning to go to Mars. It's the mission called From Earth to Moon, from Moon to Mars, and it's that mission they want it to happen now. So just Neil Armstrong did a good thing by landing on the moon, but now we want more. Get it? We have to go to Mars. If you didn't know, the reason why it was March and Mars. If you just put S at the abbreviation of March, it equals Mars.
And the reason why is because of March was named in the honor of Mars
when they found it. So if you wanted to know, Mars wasn't found when they named it. Actually, the ancient Egyptians found it. Galileo studied it, and the Romans named it. So it's just different eras just joined together to just know what Mars is. And now you know all the facts we can tell you about Mars.
So hopefully this rocket will take me and my sister to Mars. I will name it the Wonders of the Davids Family Rocket.
Went to Mars. So
this is the end of our video. Stay home, stay safe, have fun.
Bye guys, and have a happy day.